Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you really know you need to do something, or maybe you in on a stage, or maybe there's just that voice that has been persisting in your head that's telling you maybe you're not enough, that's telling you you are a failure, you know you can't do this or what. So let me give you an example. So today I had just a trial assessment from one of the pupillage centers I had applied for. So, okay, before I started my exam or the trial, I just took some time to reflect on myself. I took a deep breath and I was trying to analyze everything. And then in that process, there was this sort of anxiety that just popped up, and I could feel my stomach, that feeling where you just feel like your stomach is just rushing, like you feel some rush in the stomach, and in a minute there's a stomach upset, and yeah. So that's how I realize or I identify my moments of anxiety. So today I want to talk to us about how to win the battles we have with our inner mind. Okay, so let's say, for example, let's give a typical example of a person who has gone in front of a crowd or a stage. So they're supposed to pitch on an idea. Then before, okay, they have researched, they've done everything they could, and it's like before you came out of your house, you knew that I will nail this. But just in that moment, you really feel like there's so much anxiety that confuses you. The fear colors your mind, and it's like you can't handle anything. So, what might be the challenge? And the other part is this person who wants to start a business. Maybe you want to start your own podcast, you just want to do something, you want to write your book, you have that assignment that has been pending, and somehow you just can't find a way of really trying to do whatever you need to do. So let's look at this, like, how do you win these conversations with the brain? So first of all, I know it's too tough, I know it's so, sometimes it's scary, I'm also scared sometimes to just give time to these conversations. I should just listen to them, to try and see whatever they are telling me. So yeah, but it's so much important to listen to these conversations. Maybe they are telling you you are a failure, you don't need to listen to that. They're just trying to, someone said that fear is a good tool that you can use, the same way as I've never seen resentment being a good tool. But fear, when you're afraid of something, it means that you don't want to. For example, if you are afraid of, okay, it's technically a bad thing, the fear of poverty. So you're too scared of being broke, you're too scared about not making your ends meet. But in this moment, there's always this factor that tells you, no, if you don't work hard, you'll end up here. So, for example, with me. So, sometimes it's so scary, but I have to sit down, I have to give time to these conversations that happen in my head, just to process them and to analyze whatever they're trying to teach me. So many of us get into distractions because you are so scared of facing or allowing this reality now in your brain. Most likely it's because whatever dialogues happen in our brains know that we are capable of more, and we are not facing our real potential. Maybe we're just too comfortable with where we are as a person. And it's one of the most brutal realities to face, when your brain tells you that you're capable of more, and you just trying to live on the bare minimum, not realizing your potential. So that's one of the scary things to do, but you need to listen to that. Then secondly, so for example, with this person that is always reminded of the fact that he's not enough or she's not enough. You know how our subconscious and the conscious mind operates. So, okay, whatever you get accustomed to as a person is automated into your subconscious mind. And then, now anytime you are in such a scenario, you'll find your mind giving you the same information or feedback loop. So maybe there's a time you failed in high school, and maybe you didn't like mathematics. So technically, the test I was doing today had so much, had a little bit of math, and I'm here cringing because honestly, I didn't just love math at school. You know how it used to make me freak out, like for real. So I'm here. I was like, okay, this will be a legal test and purely legal. Okay, so I go to question. I don't know, it was question 4, yeah. Then there's calculation of capital gains tax. Oh my god. Yeah, so sometimes we are accustomed to a particular environment, and whenever we get exposed to such kind of scenarios, our minds will always remind us of our previous occurrences. So it's upon you to make the unconscious conscious. So how do you do this? So for example, if you feel like you're not enough, the brain keeps on telling you that you're not enough. Then maybe you need to realize there's something that happened to you in the past, or you've conditioned yourself to really put in so much work, maybe put people on a pedestal, maybe just because you feel you're not worthy. And so you end up sabotaging your interests just because you want to win validation or approval from people. So what you need to do, you need to step back, go through the healing, and start seeing yourself in a better frame or a better scope. Start looking at yourself as a person who can try things. One point about life, you don't have to win everything. You just have to try, and try until you reach that point where you win. Because if you do something, okay, you should have an intention to win, but not the expectation. Because when you fail, then you realize that you will give up on trying any other time. But if you have this mindset where, regardless of what happens, I'll try this. If this doesn't work, maybe I need to try it more. I'll try something else better. So that's the mindset. So for you, you need just to work through your trauma. You need to work through the healing process and start seeing yourself in a better angle. And honestly, stop negating yourself. Stop lowering your standards for the things that you know you're capable of achieving. Then something else. Now, how do we automate the non-conscious into conscious? Sorry. Okay, the sense of belief that we have as people really dictates how we think, how we operate, how we act, how people treat us. So, if there's a challenge, or you keep thinking that you're not worthy of anything, then you'll find yourself really settling for less or not facing your potential as a person. So the next thing I need you to do is to change the dynamics of the information, the knowledge that you've been trying to seek. So for example, you've been listening to stuff that don't help you, like we talk about self-improvement. Start listening to things that challenge you to really analyze yourself, to really think about what is best for you and how you can become a better person. Yeah, so and something else I promise you, these conversations will always be there, no matter how much success you accrue as a person. So it's just a process that you have to get used to. You have to allow yourself stay in the discomfort of these feelings. You have to allow yourself to process them, and then with time you just find that everything turns good. Of course, when you put in the effort gradually, it won't happen in an instant. So instead of trying so much to escape the reality, I'm just here to encourage us that we need to embrace the reality that is ahead of us. We need to realize that we ourselves are in charge of our futures, and we can become anything that God has destined us to become. So stop quitting. If you have a business idea, you don't have to wait for the perfect moment. You don't need to figure everything out. And yeah, that is something about life. You technically, so let's say I graduate, I'm admitted to the bar, and I want to start my law firm, but I procrastinate for like 3 years because I think like I don't know everything about how our law firm is operated. Then maybe, what about, okay, maybe I'll fail, but what about just getting into it, then learning through the whole process? That is the fun part of life. Yeah, so maybe you are trying to, okay, so let's say I meet a girl on the road, not on the road, maybe in a conference, and I'm trying to just to get out to say hello to her, just to get to know her. Then these voices in my mind tell me, you know, you can't attract such kind of a lady. Then, okay, so what do you need to do? Just do it anyway. Sometimes you have to learn to shut down that voice and tell it, like, you have to stay in control. If it tells you this, you have to direct the wave. So you don't let the sea direct the waves, like your mind direct whatever you need to do, but you have to stay in charge. So get used to rejections. Sometimes get used to embarrassment. You'll do stuff that people will laugh at you, but when you get to used to it anyway, it doesn't even matter. Like, sometimes it's okay. Like, people will laugh. Does it matter so much? At the end of the day, they'll forget. So, and then something else maybe. It's okay that you're different from other people. I know you see your friends, they are doing this, they are very good at it, and you're assuming, now you're comparing that part of their lives which they are good at to you. But instead of trying so hard to compare their part or their best part of, maybe it's a hobby, it's a talent, why don't you just invest in the best thing that you could become? And then also small, like, yeah, just invest through everything you're sure you can become good at. You don't need to be good at everything and you won't be. So stop trying to compete with everyone. Just focus on building yourself in that area that you know you're good at, and also trying to improve your weaknesses. At the end of the day, no one has it all figured out. It's a process, and this is life. And that life is so brutal anyway. So it's okay to be different. It's okay that your friends love this and you love this. So it's a process. Everyone loves something so different, and that's why we have different personalities. And like, we were created by the same God, but yeah, so he gave us different talents. Yeah, so through the whole process, and then later on you realize that eventually life became whatever you created it to become. So not life became what it became. So you create whatever you want out of your life. Anyway, guys, take care. So if you have any question, just drop it down. Let me know how you feel. I know I've missed so much opportunities. I haven't been here for a while, but I'm doing well. And yeah, so it's a pleasure to have you guys back, and I'm very grateful. Take care, stay hydrated, and above all, focus your lives on God, because He's the author and the finisher of our lives. I'll see you guys later. Thank you.